On August 28th, 2025, I went on a road trip to Managua. I stayed at Managua Hills, which is my favorite place to stay at when I am in Managua. And the reason for this trip was to visit Vivian Pellas Hospital. I said in my last video that I belong to a program at Vivian Pellas called Club Salud, which means health club, which is a discount club, not an insurance program, which gives me discounts on many products and services at the hospital. Today I'm here in Managua, the capital city of Nicaragua. We're getting an executive checkup. The things that I am having done for this executive checkup is I'm taking a urine and stool sample with me. So I'm going to get a urinalysis and a fecal analysis. They are going to draw 4 vials of blood and do numerous tests on my blood. I will get a mammogram, a bone density test, a thorax x-ray, a abdominal ultrasound, a pap smear, and an electrocardiogram, a stress test. I think that's about it. The list of things that they checked in the blood is very long. So tell me, how much would this cost you in your country, or how much would you be willing to pay? I know that many of you come from Canada, which is where I'm from, and we have wonderful socialized medicine there. So these things are free. So in that case, I would like to know how long it would take you to get all of these things done. I really want to talk about the newness and cleanliness of the hospital, which was really wonderful. The professionalism of the doctors was top-notch. I'll tell you how the day went. We went in, we had to pay for the service. I went with a friend, so that's why I keep saying we. We paid for the service. Then we were taken directly to the lab, and the lab is where I had blood drawn, which I'll show you a video of that. After having my blood drawn, I was taken immediately to the imaging center. The imaging center is where first I had my upper thorax x-rayed. Then I had to go for my mammogram. After that, I had my bone density test. The person in charge of the ultrasound, I don't know if it's a doctor or a technician, she was very busy, so I was taken up to do my EKG stress test, my heart stress test. And then after that, I was brought back down to the imaging center where I was given my ultrasound. They did a complete ultrasound on my abdomen, and also when I was getting my mammogram, they thought they saw something in my breast, but there was nothing, but they did a little ultrasound there too. And so then after that, I could eat. We hadn't eaten since the night before, and so I was very hungry by this time. After lunch, it was supposed to be breakfast, but because the ultrasound took so long to get to, we ended up having lunch instead of breakfast. After lunch, I had my pap test. And then directly after that, we were supposed to go for our consultation for somebody to read through the results with us. But it was getting late and we lived 3 hours away, so we decided to leave, so we didn't have that consultation. But they gave me a bunch of hard copies of most of my things. I didn't get my lab results. So here are my results from my executive checkup. These are the hard copies that I was given. This one here is very interesting. It is a DEXA scan. It is a bone density scan. With this scan, they measure your whole body. You have to lay there still, not move and not talk. And they measure all of your bones. And they give you two measurements. One, they measure you against a 30-year-old, a completely healthy 30-year-old of your same sex. And then they give you another one. They compare you to a completely healthy person of a person of your same age. And I'm doing both, good in both. They said I have the start of a little osteopenia in my lower lumbar, which is completely normal, but I'm obviously going to do something about that. And then this here is my cardiologist, from the cardiologist. This is the one that they hook you up to a treadmill and they put all sorts of probes, not probes, but little sticky sensors on you. And they have you on a treadmill for a good amount of time, and they keep increasing the incline and the speed, and they stop every 2 minutes and take your blood pressure. And it's really good. And this here says that there's everything is normal, the recuperation is normal, but I like that the doctor looked at me and she gave me the thumbs up and she said, "Oh, good, very good, congratulations." So that makes me, oh, there's one page missing. So that makes me feel very good. This is from my ultrasound, from the abdominal ultrasound. Everything is good with that. And this here is from my thorax. Everything was good with that. Hard copies of that and a little report. And also my mammogram. I have this mammogram from 5 years ago, and then I have this mammogram. They thought they saw something and they sent me for a follow-up ultrasound. It was just a little something I can't even feel, and everything was fine. No worries there at all. But yeah, all of those results I got on the day of. Anyway, that took us from 7:30 in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So 6.5 hours. So what do you think? Do you think that's good time? Do you think that's time well spent? Having that amount of tests in that amount of time? So I want to share with you some of the things that did not go so well. Overall, everything was really wonderful, and I'm very happy with the service. But if you do get this executive checkup, and there's different executive checkups that you can have. I had the one that is for women of my age that are past menopause. But there is one for menopausal women, there's one for younger women, there's one for children, there's one for men, older men and younger men, and the prices differ. The men's prices are less than the women's. I guess men's bodies are less complicated than women's are. So the first thing on our list, they gave us a bunch of things to do before, like we couldn't eat certain things for 24 hours before the visit, and we had to fast for 12 hours before the visit. Oh, and then to start the day, we were supposed to go to one of the towers. Well, we went to one of the towers and they were very confused. They didn't know what to do with us, and they took us to Club Salud. So if you do this, don't go to the tower. Go straight to Club Salud, because there you're going to fill out your paperwork and you're going to pay, and that's where everything really starts. So after that, they'll walk you over to the lab and get your labs done. That happened really fast. So after the labs, they take you to the imaging center. And if I were to do this again, I would put more pressure. I didn't really say anything to anybody, but I would ensure that my abdominal ultrasound was done next, because after that, then you can eat. What ended up happening was that the ultrasound didn't happen for a long time, and that pushed back us being able to eat, and my energy was quite low, and things are just not as fun when you're hungry and when you're not feeling so great. Things are just better when you can eat and do things on a full stomach. So what happened was the ultrasound wasn't until the very end, and I had to do my all of my other exams on an empty stomach, and also the stress test. Now the stress test was actually my favorite part of this. But that was really interesting. They put probes all over my chest, and there was like a little apparatus here in front of me. They put me on a treadmill. There was loud music playing, and they increased the incline of the treadmill, and they increased the speed. So there was a doctor on the computer, and then there was an assistant, maybe she was a doctor too, I'm not sure, right near my right arm, and she had a cuff on my right arm, and they had me stop every 2 minutes, and she would take my blood pressure. And then so we did that for quite a few minutes, and it was quite fast by the time I wasn't running, but very close to running. Like I wanted to run, but it wasn't quite fast enough to run. And what she wrote on my report afterwards was just like, there's no incident, there's no indication of problems. But what I liked was what she said to me before she left the room. She said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yes." And I said, "Are there any problems?" And she said, "No, very good. Congratulations," or "Muy bien, felicitaciones." So I think my heart's in good shape. I think that I probably would have performed a little bit better, not that I needed to, but if I would have had some food in my stomach. Also, leading up to this, I was not getting the information that I needed from the hospital. I was getting a lot of my information through my friend, and it's because they had my email address wrong. They had an old email address, and even though I tried to ask the person who was in charge of us, she didn't take that extra step to try to figure that out. That didn't get figured out until I was back in San Juan del Sur, and I had to write an email, and so finally that was sorted, but it didn't take that long. This test was on a Friday, and I had my results on a Monday, or at the very latest on a Tuesday morning.
We are at the
portal for Vivian Pellas. See where it says Me Portal? Okay, so we'll go in. So these are my doctor visits that I've had, my personal information, my history with the hospital, and my new results, which this is what we will check from my executive checkup. These would be any prescriptions, which I do not have any. And this one I'm not sure about. And these are my vital signs. So let's go in here and see what we can see. So you can see that these ones way down at the bottom, they are from 21. This is from a mammogram that I had in, and ultrasound I had in 2021. But these ones all up here, these all have to do with my executive checkup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them. So we're going to start up here. So this here was from my pap test, which came back completely clear. My cardiology. This is my new mammogram here, and my ultrasound, my abdominal ultrasound. Everything was good. They thought they saw something a little bit in my in one of my breasts for my mammogram, but they did an ultrasound and it's nothing. Images, this one here is the bone density test. Everything is good. This is my upper chest. There's nothing found there. And this is the test from the lab. They took 4 vials of blood and they did a whole battery of tests on that. Everything was really good with me. There might be 1 or 2 things that I need to look a little bit closer at, but certainly nothing alarming. They also took a urine sample and a stool sample, and everything checks out. So pretty complete, I would say. This is a very thorough exam. And again, to do it all in 6 hours, I think is pretty phenomenal. So overall, the experience was really good. The price for this was $520 US, but because I get a discount, it costed me $434 US. I'm not sure what that is in Canadian, but I'll put it up here. Yeah, I am very happy with this, and I felt very comfortable there. A few little annoying things, but I think that's just life. But yeah, I would recommend it. So, and I want to know, would you come down here to get a complete workup? I think it's very valuable. I am in my late 50s and I really wanted to get a baseline to know how healthy I am so that I can address things as they come up and I can still stay as healthy as possible for as long as possible. The only thing of note, and it's not even much, in my bone density test, there's a little bit of osteopenia in my lower lumbar, which is not bad at all, just like a teeny tiny bit. But I am going to do some research and see if I can take supplements or if I can do some sort of exercises to stop that from happening. I don't know. Do you know? Can you give me any advice on what I should do? Anyway, I hope you found this valuable. And if you did, could you please take the time to like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already? I would really appreciate it.